Welcome to the evening review. Today we are joined by the actual chairperson of the Namibia Land Occupancy Movement, Benzel Kruger. That conversation will follow shortly. Welcome to the evening review.
Yes, thank you, sir.
You are leading the Namibia Land Occupancy Movement as a chairperson now. Last week we had Mr. Kennedy Kandjii, who came here and represented your movement. Could you just provide some clarity in terms of how this came about and what is the involvement of Mr. Kennedy Kandjii in this movement of yours?
All right, actually what happened exactly that day was there was land grabbing, or people were taking land. And then when I heard the story, actually I went that day to go see what was going on that day. And I actually went with a friend of mine. So we came there, and then people were going on, and then they wanted to put up those ghettos and things like that. So everybody was actually talking, and there was no actually understanding each other between people. So I said to the friend of mine, so let's actually make a committee and to represent these people, so all of us cannot talk at the same time. So let's make a committee quickly, and then we can maybe engage, we can talk to people. So that's how it actually came. Master Kandjii was not there that day. No, actually he was there, but he came later when we formed the committee. He came later, and then he actually told me, can I be your advisor? Can I just be advisor to this committee? I just want to advise you guys. So we said, okay, if you want to advise, no problem. You can advise us, anything you want to advise us. Actually, so that's how he came in. While already we have formed the committee, and while we were already communicating even with the police. Yeah.
So, what is it? So apart from him advising you on that given day, does he have any role currently within the movement?
No, actually the thing was, he just said he wanted to advise us. He wants to advise the committee. But currently, as we are speaking, we are actually not associated with Kandjii. Kandjii is actually not a part of this committee. He's not a part of anything we are doing, actually. So I don't know how he came to the interviews, how he's running to this media, to other media, and to talk. And we did not actually send him even to the media to speak for us. Because there's a way we work in this committee. Anything or anybody who wants to go to a media, first we have to have a meeting, and then we discuss the things that we're going to speak to the media, and then that's how it actually works. So he even came. I don't know how he came. Who sent him? I don't know. So he is actually not part of all those things we were doing. He was not part of it.
So now, want to come back now to your movement. You established, you saw a need to establish it when you saw that people were grabbing land, but currently now, just give us an indication of how does your movement look like? Who are you representing? Where are you based? And what is your mission? What is your vision, and so forth?
All right. The movement started actually that same day when people were grabbing land in Ochomise. So that's where we start. And then, okay, we have decided, since there's nobody that can speak for these people, let's form a committee, let's start with this movement, and let's speak for these people. Because there has been other movements before who claims to speak for people, or who claims to speak for the masses. And according to me, this movement or these people actually lost their vision. So currently there's nobody who can speak for these people. People are in need of land. And we are in need of land. Not only people, everybody needs a land, piece of land. So we have came up with this movement and we said, okay, let's speak for these people. Instead of them maybe grabbing the land, let's come and intervene, and we can engage with the relevant authorities. We can engage with the City of Windhoek. We can engage with people that are responsible for the land. So we have come up with this movement, and the vision of this movement actually is that we want to actually engage, because nobody, if let's say for instance, all of us cannot speak at the same time. Those people, because there were more than 200 people that day at the Chumise when they were grabbing lands. So all of those people cannot speak for themselves. So there has to be somebody who will speak for these people. So we came up with this movement. The vision of this movement is people need land. What are we going to do? Okay, the first step is let's first engage these people, relevant authorities. And if I can briefly maybe just explain to you.
Of course, of course.
Yeah, our young women and men that are at the university, once they finish with their studies, once they get a job, the first thing that they need is actually a place to stay. Now, you know how expensive is the rent in Windhoek actually. So those young men and women, they need a place to stay. So at least if you can have a piece of land and put up your structure, start to stay at your own place, I mean, that's where you start. So we have come up with this thing, and we said, okay, maybe what's a vision? How can we move with this thing? Okay, we have people that ends between 1.5 and between 1.5 to up to 5,000. Okay, in reality, these people can never own a land. They can never buy a land. They can never buy a house. With your salary of 1.5, you can never buy a house. With your salary of 5,000, you can never buy a house. You can not even afford a land, especially also here in Windhoek. You can't afford the land. So we have come up with the idea, is okay, what can we do? Can we maybe engage City of Windhoek and those that are responsible with the land? How can we engage them? And maybe in the process of 10 years' time, we can put up a program and say, okay, these people that ends between 1.5 and up to 5,000, how can City of Windhoek accommodate these people to get the land? So these are the things that we are currently busy discussing. Yeah, these are the things we are currently busy discussing, because rent is expensive, as I said earlier on. Land is expensive. Now, if these things are so much expensive, when will our domestic workers, when will the security guard be able to buy land in Windhoek? In reality now, if we can talk in reality, it's just impossible. So, and everybody needs a land. Even I need a land. I don't have a place to stay. I'm renting. I need a land. So, we are busy with these things, and the vision of this movement is to engage different municipalities, town councils, village councils, and not everybody. So we are actually there to engage and to communicate with, yeah.
So on the day that people were grabbing land in Ochamise, did you at least gain some success in terms of trying to discourage people from grabbing land and telling them to go through the legal processes? Have you seen any positive feedback from people that you represent that feel, okay, we're going to listen to you? Or do you think that the situation is out of control? And do you think in the near future there could be a situation where people go out and grab land again, looking at what you assessed on that day?
Yeah, actually what happened that day was we explained to people, and we said, okay, let us represent you guys. They listened to us and said, okay, you guys can do. They gave us actually the mandate to represent them. So what happened that day was the police came actually, and then they said, no, this is an illegal demonstration or illegal meeting and things like that. And then we have been advised by Namibian police that we should go actually and get there was something like a form for demonstration.
Yes.
Yeah. So that same day we said, okay, it's fine. Let's just go back and get a form for that. And we decided the next day, which was Wednesday, we said, okay, let's go to the City of Windhoek. Let's go see the mayor and
Dr. Joba Mupanda.
Yeah, yes. And then another man, I don't know actually, I don't know his position actually, but it's Masamanga. We went to see them, and then they said actually, no, write the appointment letter, make an appointment with us, and then we can see you guys. So that same day, we made the appointment. I actually tried to reach even the man, Job Abumanda, but unfortunately I could not reach him that day. We made the appointment that day at the city of Windhoek, the offices. And after we wrote 3 letters to give in for appointment, we were 4 actually that day. Benzel Kandjii was also involved that day because he claims to advise us, he wanted to advise us that day. So after that, those letters, I said, okay, guys, we are done now. Let's just go home and wait for their response. 3 colleagues of mine, including Benzel Kandjii, went back to the land where people were grabbing land in Chomise. So I said, no, we are done. I'm going back to work. So from that day, I went back. I went to work, and from there, I heard that other people were arrested. So we tried to reach them, and still I'm gonna try to reach them, and still we're gonna try to engage with the Manya and with the Mazamanga also, and see maybe how we can assist and help these people. Because currently, as I'm speaking, there's nobody who speaks for these people. After independence, look, if you can go to ghettos, you will find 5 people, 6 people staying in one ghetto because they can't afford land. It's very expensive. You find somebody who finished at the university, got a job, immediately goes for renting. They are renting. So the same amount that you are using to rent, you can afford the land. If there is a structure, and if City of Windhoek and the other municipalities have a clear plan, people can afford land. So as I'm talking currently, there's nobody who speaks for people. So we are representing this bill. And we are not saying we are going to occupy land, we are going to take it by force. And no, we don't say that. In a peaceful way, we are saying, guys, we know you need land, but let's engage. And what I'm saying is, if the city of Windhoek does not listen, or other towns or village council or municipalities does not want to listen, what is the next option? When you are trying to engage and people don't listen to you, what is the next option? I mean, then you don't have an option but to take it by force. But now we don't want to go that way. We are saying, no, guys, let's engage. Let's talk to the relevant authorities and see maybe we can find a solution.
How do you think this approach of yours is going by trying to engage peacefully and in a harmonious way? Do you think, are you getting the sort of reactions that you want from the stakeholders on the other side of the fence?
At the moment, we did not get any response. As I told you earlier on, I tried to reach Manya, but his phone also went unanswered. But still, we are not going to stop. We're going to try to engage. We're going to try to make appointments. We're going to try to see them and to do things in a peaceful way. Because what we are trying to do is, if we see people like grabbing land, as a movement, we go to those people and we say, okay, you guys, you need the land, we know. But first, let's try to engage. Before you are violating the law, let's try to engage. So that's actually a thing this movement is standing for, and that's the reason why we are there. To just try to engage and see maybe if we can find a solution. And another thing also that I wanted to say is, it doesn't mean now, when people are grabbing lands in Ochomise or anywhere, Babylon, anywhere, it does not mean now that this movement have sent people to grab land. No, it does not mean that way. Because anybody can jump up today and grab land or do whatever they think. But that does not mean that we have sent people or instigate people. Because I heard rumors, people are saying that or people have been instigated or somebody have tried to send people to grab land. It's not like that. And even that day when people were grabbing land in Ochomise, what we heard also was like that maybe there were some politicians who sent us to instigate people to grab land. So it's not a political thing. We need land. Simple as that. It's not a political thing. Nobody has sent us to go do those kind of things. We need a land. And everybody needs a land. So that is actually the thing. And as I said earlier on, it's not going to end here. We're gonna see. It's not only in Windhoek actually that people need lands. It's in Omaruru, it's anywhere, it's Korigas, anyway. People need land. So this movement is gonna see do it that people that need land has to get land, piece of land, to put up their structure with their family.
Recently, we've seen, yesterday the mayor had a press conference in which he said, look, there are going to be systems in place now. You know, we are going to get the correct processes in place. You know, it's not going to be necessary for people to grab land. We're going to have lists of people there. So if you know that you're number 120, for example, you know you're 120, therefore you don't have to go and grab land. Please be patient. You know, it's coming. Such messages, are they doing enough to sort of to sort of calm people down and let them have that patience from the perspective of someone who doesn't have land?
Okay, in my view, there's been other administration before our newly elected mayor came into the office. Look, there are people that were on those waiting lists. And I spoke to some of them, which were already from 2001, 2002, 2004, which were already on that list. And the previous administrations also failed to do that. Now, in my view, when you come into an office or when you start to run a business or anything else, you need to have a clear vision from the very beginning. Not only when there's a pressure, you want to put the plan now, and only now you want to work. Now it tells me that no, something is not right. So from the very beginning, you should have a very clear vision before you even occupy the office. You should have a clear vision and know where you are going. So, and not only that, if you have a very clear vision, you come out and tell people from the very beginning, you are clear and say, okay, guys, this is a plan we have, and this is what we're going to work out. A and B, you understand, explain to people. And then I believe such things that even happened of land grabbing would have never happened if people were informed actually what the city of Windhoek was busy with. So we never heard of that part. We only heard now. I'm only heard that part on Tuesday, as you are saying, that there is a clear plan. Another thing is, you know, this actually it's very disturbing. While already there were people on the waiting list, I always say that richer become richer and poor become poor. While there were already people that were on a waiting list, you see somebody who just came in, get a land, get a plot, and begins to build a flat. Now you're wondering, oh, what's this person on the list also? You see how unfair things are. It is just totally unfair. Recently, if you can check in these 5 years or 10 years, you will see that the flats has been built around in Windhoek. You see a flat here, you see a flat here, you see a flat there, and those are people who waste money. So how, you know, it's just not fair, and it's not totally fair, because there are people who are waiting for land, waiting for a piece of land, who already applied for that, but they don't get anything. But you see people who waste money, who get the land and build their flats and so on. So for me, I will wait and see what's going to happen. Are we going to wait and see what's going to happen and what is that plan? Because we also have got some innovative ideas that we want to share as a movement with the city of Windhoek and with also with other municipalities and with also other village councils. So we also want to suggest certain things and say, okay, look guys, these people cannot never earn the land. This security guard can never earn the land or can never have a land because he cannot afford it. This domestic worker or these people that are earning between 1.5 and up to 5,000 can never buy that land or a property or a house. So let's have a clear plan, maybe for 10 years, how they can pay off. Even if they can pay 1,000 or 1.5 or, a clear plan which says, okay, in 10 years' time, they can pay it off this land. then we will never have a problem of grabbing land, and you understand. So let's calm down. Let's those that are in the offices calm down to the level of the people who don't afford a land. Then I think we can balance the scales. That's what I think.
And then Mr. Kandjii obviously made a lot of pronouncements, and I'm sure some of the excuse me, some of the pronouncements that were made,
yes,
were somewhat, well, you could probably say, are somewhat damaging to the reputation of your movement.
Yes.
What are some of the steps that you are looking at taking? Are there any steps that you're looking at taking against Mr. Kandjii for making the pronouncements that he made? And just going forward, you know, what are you going to be occupied with now for the next 2 or 3 or 4 months as the movement gains pace?
Okay, after I have seen the interviews that Mr. Kandjii was having, I tried to reach him, to speak to him and to find a way that what he's doing actually is tarnishing the image of this movement. This movement is a movement that we have started to run it in a peaceful way and not in a violence and not the things that he have mentioned there. So I tried to reach him, but unfortunately I could not reach him. And I'm still trying my best to reach him and to speak to him. I mean, and from there we can see maybe what are the steps that we will do. Yeah, we'll take. I mean, yeah.
And as for the movement, where to now for the very near future?
At the moment, we are busy now, putting up a structure and working on ways how we can run the things, and so we are active. We are very busy now, and we are looking into the near future with a very clear vision that what this movement is going to do. And I believe that things are going to change. Things are going to change. So there are consultations, there are meetings that we have, and then we are engaging. So in the near future, we're going to see a good result.
Thank you very much for joining us on the Evening Review and providing some clarity. Thank you for tuning in. Good night.